What up, guys? CJ here, bringing you another NFL Week 3 podcast. And as always, I hop on here with none other than my sharp buddy T. T, how's it going, man?
Well, man, how are you?
Good, man, good. So last week, man, what'd you think of NFL Week 2? I didn't do too well week 2. So I think I'm still learning the teams, learning the game, learning everything. But how'd you do?
I just went 0 for 1.
Yeah, no, you actually you hit the Thursday night pick with the Bills though. I was on Miami.
I'm technically 4 out of 5, but yeah, I did.
Yeah, you just hate losing anything. That's the problem. Hey, man, I'll take your freaking weekend over my weekend any day. Trust.
I'll feel you.
I couldn't. I mean, not like I had a ton of plays, but definitely had some disappointments with the. Huh?
I think tough sledding for a lot of people last week.
Yeah, tough sledding for a lot. Unless you're a numbers guy and you just completely took the number, I think in that sense you actually ended up doing pretty good.
Right.
So yeah, man. On to week 3 though. So we're gonna do obviously like we do every week. Break down Thursday night real quick, and then you'll have your pick for the audience. Sometimes it could be pizza money. Sometimes it could be you really love it, but you'll have that, and then we'll break down the slate after that, man. So let's get into it, dude.
Let's do it.
Thursday night football. The Jets and the Patriots. Line is sitting at -6. Jets right now in New York, division game. Before you get into yours, I'll give a quick take on it real quick myself. -6 division game. Everybody would think that the Patriots suck, but I think the Patriots defense is pretty good. I just don't know. Actually, I'm not sure if Brissett ended up getting hurt last game, if he ended up finishing the game, because I wasn't paying attention to that one, actually. I was focused on a different game, but I feel like +6 at home. I believe the line opened at 7, and money knocked it down to 6. This is either going to be the Aaron Rodgers show, the coming out in New York, or it could be the Patriots really solidifying and showing that they have good defense and they can hang with teams because of their defense. Because I know their offense is a little anemic, man. But
It's been anemic for God knows how long.
What was that?
No, I'm saying their offense has been anemic for quite some time.
Oh, it's been a long time since Brady left.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Even that last year that Brady played, I don't think their offense was really great, right? The one where they lost to the Titans in the playoffs?
Sure.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. Who are you leaning in this one, or who you're looking to give out as your pick in this one? Pizza money again, I'm assuming, because I know you haven't talked to me too much about it.
Yeah. That one's tough.
It is. So over-under's at 38.5, by the way.
I lean towards the under. I'd probably take the Patriots and take the 6. You want to give me 6? I'll take the 6.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, right? Looking at the number.
Yeah.
Without deep digging anymore, especially because, I mean, short rest, man. What is it, 3 days before they have to play again after Sunday?
Yeah.
And then the Jets. To me, this line is built off of odds makers still think that the Patriots, the public thinks the Patriots suck, and that's why they're putting up a 6, because they still think that the public's going to favor the Jets with the 6 with Rodgers, right? It's all public perception. That's a good line to put on this game for sure. You put anything minus like 3, 3.5, 4, like everybody's gonna be on the Jets.
For sure.
So you're saying Patriots pizza money +6, man. If I had to make an early pick on this one, I'm looking at right now the team totals. If I had to make an early pick, right, I would kind of like under on the 15.5 with New England. I think you can even get 16.5, but it's going to be juiced to the under. Just because I don't know. Personally, I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball that well against this Jets-led defense. We don't know if it's that great yet, but it has started to play better quarter by quarter, in my opinion. Like how they finished off the game against the Titans. Obviously,
you got to ask yourself, can the defense put up points, or can the defense get them closer to the goal line?
You're talking about the Patriots, right?
Well, as you're talking about the Patriots under, right?
Yeah. Team
If
total
you like
under.
the Patriots under that, then you must like the Jets.
You know what? I also respect the Patriots
There's
defense.
nothing wrong with it, but that's pretty much kind of what you're saying, right? Or you think it's going to be a completely low-scoring game? If you think it's going to be a completely low-scoring game, you might as well like the under, too.
That's what I was going to say. I think it could be low scoring, man, because the Patriots defense is not bad. Jets, obviously we know what the Jets defense is, but
When has the Patriots defense ever been bad?
it's been a while. That's
A while.
before the Teddy Bruschi days.
If it wasn't for their defense, they'd be a 1-2 team win team. I'm not kidding you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Because their offense has been real bad, man. I mean, put it this way. I think Pittsburgh, the Steelers' offense isn't that great, but the Pats' offense is like a step below that.
I would think so.
Yeah. So you're saying...
So, it's really nice to see how they're handling their quarterback, though, man. Letting him sit. It's smart.
Are you talking about the
Patriots.
Pats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a smart thing to do. Everybody who has sat, we talked about this before, everybody who sat typically has had better years statistically over time. I mean, it happened with Rodgers, happened with Jordan Love. The Packers are one of the best teams to do that. And now it also happened with Mahomes behind Alex Smith. So,
Right?
yeah. So we'll see how that pans out down the road. But honestly, it's not the most appealing Thursday night game, but you're going to put...
It's not.
It's not, man. They got to get better with these, right? I guess that you can't, because then you're going to take one good game away from Sunday.
Yeah, I think they purposely make the Thursday night game shit.
It's just a little like starter for your weekend.
For sure. But let me tell you, though, there are a lot of games this week. If you look at these lines, there's going to be... I mean, it's very hard for me to see the book having a bad week, because if you look at these lines, man, these are some good, close games.
Oh, yeah. The definitely
Like the Lions -3 at Arizona. The Lions can very well lose that game. Sorry, they just can.
No, they could for sure. And that's why
Yeah.
bookmakers and odds makers are I mean, that's why they're still in business, man. This thing's not easy.
I'm looking at these lines, bro. You got 1.5, you got 1, you got 2, you got 2.5, you got 1.5. You got another 1.5, you got 3, you got 3.5.
As to
some
last
of these
week,
are going to be good, man.
As to last week was overreaction week, right? Last week was like lines were just inflated, man.
Yeah.
Inflated for sure. It's funny because next Monday, did you know that there's 2 games? We got Jacksonville, Buffalo, and then you have Washington at Cincinnati.
What about those games again, sir?
Those 2 games are going to be Monday night. 2 games. I just was looking at the slate.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know. I saw it the other day though because I looked at the spreads right away on Sunday night.
Commanders Bengals will probably be a trash game anyway. At least that's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But I think that Jaguars Bills game could be close. It could be a good game.
I could see a good game on that one for
And
sure.
the Jaguars are playing for their season right here, right now. This is it. No questions asked.
Oh, of course.
You lose, you're done. You lose, you're done.
You can't go 0-3, man.
No, you can't go 0-3 and come back. You just can't.
Nah. So, we'll get to that game right now. But so there's your third.
Maybe a couple years ago they could have done it with this Texans team being this good. Nah, you have no room to play around.
And right now, I think Trevor Lawrence is starting to look like a bust, right?
Yeah. I think it's safe to say he was a bust, and I don't want to hear any excuses. Blah blah blah. At the end of the day, they hired Peterson. Peterson couldn't help him. I don't want to hear this. He's bad organization. He didn't have a playbook. Blah blah blah. Blah blah. No, dude.
Because he's had many chances. I mean,
the guy just sucks. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I'm starting to lean towards he's even below kind of.
You know what's funny is him and Watson suck just like how the Clemson Tide do now. Suck.
Tigers, you mean?
What did I say? Clemson what?
Tide.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, Clemson
No,
Tide.
it's funny because it was back then. It was always Clemson and Alabama Tide. So you're probably what's in your mind.
That was a great rivalry, man.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, it was great. That's definitely different now. Different days in college.
I don't really like this new NIL rule. Do you? Where like people are transferring, and all of a sudden this team that usually sucks, all of a sudden is good. It's just kind of like
I kind of like it. I kind of like it
because it's an even playing field.
Yeah, it gets a little more competitive, man, and it gives other schools who never really had a shot to be that good. It gives them a shot to be good.
Yeah, but then it takes away from the coaches and the recruiting and all that. People are doing such a good job recruiting. Now it's like other people offer money. Well, it's like, well, I'd love to play for you, Nick, but somebody's offering me a little bit more money. I'm going to go there.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you
Like
got to
that.
think
It's college, bro. That's what college is for.
that's what
You got to work hard to get to the pros to get paid, brother.
But-
Anyways,
but-
we can talk about this all
wait,
day
wait,
long.
wait. But let me say something though. That's another form of recruiting in itself. If you're trying to get people over, regardless of the money or not, it's not just about the money. It's also about the program and what they could offer them.
Most of it for these young athletes are about the money. Stop. They're kids. They don't know any better.
All right.
That's this. When you're 18, 19, a school paid you $100,000 to come play. A school paid you $20,000. Where are you going to go at 18 years old? Where
I'm
you
gonna
going to
go to the 100K school.
Okay, exactly.
As long as it's a D1.
Okay, I mean there you go.
But okay, let's enough of that because we could talk about that forever. Let's get into the first line on a Sunday. Chargers Pittsburgh at the Steelers -1.5. There's reports of Justin Herbert's ankle being a little banged up, but I think he's going to be fine. That's just my personal opinion. They still dominated Carolina. Anyway. Yeah. This year we're going to see, man. I mean, they're 2-0. We're going to see what he's really made of, right?
They're 2-0 because that defense plays like it's grit. It's all grit. It's all hard work. It's all pounding you.
I think it's all Harbaugh. Tribute to Harbaugh, in my opinion.
Are you talking about the Chargers?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different team. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Who are you thinking about? Who are you thinking
of course,
about?
the Chargers. Yeah. Which two teams are we talking about?
Steelers and Chargers. Were you talking about the Steelers?
Oh, sorry. I was talking about the Steelers. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was talking about the Chargers. But the line -1.5 in Pittsburgh. Obviously, this is just like first looks, early looks. But I look at that line, and that line is fucking fair. You said fair? Yeah,
it's a fair line.
It is fair. Maybe
if it was the other way around, I think it'd be 3.
Well, if they're in LA.
Yeah, if they're in LA.
Why do we want to say San Diego so bad though?
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm notorious for saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. I think that line is it's going to be a tough fought game, man. Steelers. So here's the thing about
funny is sorry. Go ahead. Did you talk about the
No,
Steelers?
you're good. Go ahead. I want to hear.
You know what's so funny is you and I watch a lot of sports media, a lot of sports cast, all that stuff, right? Has anybody talked about the Chargers being 2-0 right now? Because I haven't heard any peep from any sports places.
They're not really giving them too much credit, I don't think.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
Why?
I don't think they have anybody other than obviously Harbaugh and Herbert that are marketable.
Possibly.
Like right now, I just think there's not enough storyline to everything else, right? Even with Atlanta, the Falcons, you have the whole Kirk Cousins deal. You have you just have storylines, and there hasn't been a great storyline other than the coach. And I don't think the media only wants to talk about coaches; they want to talk about players on the field.
Yeah, but I also think it's because maybe they haven't beat a significant team yet to make noise.
Well, okay, let me ask you this: What do you think about the Raiders? You think they're really bad? You think they're good? You think they're decent? You think?
I think they're a very inconsistent team, and they're not a team I would bet against on certain because you just don't know with them.
You don't, man.
They've been like that all of last year too. They beat Kansas City at home. Like they
beat Kansas City in Kansas City for sure.
They're just so inconsistent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. I think the reason I say that is because they beat the Raiders and they are inconsistent. But I don't know, man. I actually think the Chargers, they went into Carolina. I mean, let's be real. Like Bryce Young is not he got benched this week, so obviously he's not a great QB.
They went to Carolina and did their job.
Exactly. They blew him out. I don't care who. Yeah, I don't care what anybody says.
You go on the road. I don't care who you're playing, and you blow a team out like that.
Yeah.
From west to east.
See that?
There's credence behind that. I mean, there's that's
honestly yes.
No, I agree.
We were gonna say the same thing. So to me, when I see this line, it's like this game's gonna come down to it's Watt versus Herbert in that Steelers D line.
It's going to come down to the key turnovers. That's really what it's going to come down to.
That's what I was going to get to.
Over and where?
Yes. Like, is Fields going to make a key turnover? Is Watt going to create a key turnover? Is Herbert going to make the turnover? That's what it's going to come down to. That's why that line's 1.5. So really, what you're really betting there is who's going to make the least mistakes.
Right, and let's be honest. If you think about it, they're kind of coached the same: defense first, run, pound.
Yep,
The coaches are
yep.
pretty similar, so
Yeah.
their game plans are similar. It's going to be, where do you turn that ball over? Do you turn it on or off? Do you turn it over on your side or their side? Do you turn it off on your side? They're guaranteed points, and I don't think points is going to come easy.
And points are premium. Even field goals are premium in this game.
Field goals, oh, absolutely.
Which is why when we get to the over-under at 36, I would lean under. Doesn't mean I'd play it, but I'd definitely lean it, man.
Sure.
Definitely lean that under. So you have to. That's some deep digging I'm gonna do in that under. But that's a game I kind of want to watch. I mean, it's gonna be a gritty game, like old school.
It's for sure a game you watch.
Yeah, I love that kind of football, man. That's just me.
You're a Niner fan. What other football?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, am I right?
Yeah. No, you're right. All right. So let's go to Bears and Colts, man. Next game on the slate: Colts -2, Bears +2. Over under 43. That game is another coin flip. The Caleb Williams saga, man. I don't know. But then again, you got Richardson going for the Colts. He has not been doing shit himself. But Williams has really looked like it's way too early to call him a bust, right? It really is. I think he needs to learn.
Richardson?
No, Williams.
Both are too early to call bust.
Both are too early to call bust. But I don't know, man. There's a couple things that Caleb Williams, even when I was watching that Texans game, he got out of some tackles, but he didn't impress me regardless of them keeping it close. I think it was the defense keeping it close. Week 1, he didn't really do too much with the Titans. The Titans, Will Levis gave them that game. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a game of which fucking team wants it more. You got Shane Steichen.
For sure.
Yeah. So
the Caleb thing, man. It's just when he's in the pocket back in college, he would run, go left, go right, make a bunch of design, fucking just throw it down the field. Somebody's open, right?
Yep.
But the problem is, when you're in the National Football League, these guys are all fast. This isn't college where there's one guy coming at you fast and the other ones are just slow. This isn't college anymore. So if he thinks he can do that or play like that, it's a lot harder. That's all I'm saying.
It's way harder. There's only one guy that I know that can do that. His name is Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, correct.
So much for all the comparisons, huh?
And a young Aaron Rodgers. But go ahead.
A young Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. You're always gonna give him his credit.
Just like you're always gonna give your nines the credit. Oh.
Yeah. I don't give the quarterback the credit though. I give the team. But anyway. Okay, so next game we're gonna hop over to Texans Minnesota. Texans are laying 1.5 in Minnesota. That Minnesota defense is no joke, man. I think they're rated top 5 in DVOA, which accounts for all metrics. Crunch time, 2-minute warning, third downs, long, short yardage, 4th and 1s. I think Flores has that defense flying, and I think Sam Darnold is finally in a good place. I'm actually digging into that game a little bit more. What was that?
Nice.
Yeah. So kind of just seeing, 2-0 teams. Minnesota's getting the points at home. I think that line actually might have opened at 3. I had to double check that. I'm not sure. But then again, you have pretty much your advantage in this game, in my opinion, is the quarterback, right? Stroud over Darnold in terms of, I think he's a little more mobile, and I don't know. Maybe he edges out Darnold in my opinion more. But this can be Sam Darnold's year to tell everybody to shut up. Who knows? Who knows, man? He has weapons over there. That line to me is, truthfully, that line kind of seems wrong. Not by much, but I think it could easily be a pick'em, right?
I thought you were going to say it could be higher. I'm like, what? Yeah.
No, I think that line could be a pick'em. That's where playing
the line is a pick'em.
Yeah, that's where I think playing the number makes no sense to do, because just because it's a pick'em, you still got to dig into the game. Like, why is the line what it is, and is there any value?
100%. I agree 100%.
So, yeah, that's definitely a close one. But I don't know. Who would you lean in that one?
Nobody.
Nobody? Okay.
Sorry. I can't. I'm not. No way. I would touch it with a 10-foot pole.
I would lean Minnesota, but then again, what you're going to be betting is Sam Darnold going to be able to bring me over that hump, right?
Right.
So,
but I can see that happening.
Yeah, for sure. So then you have next game is talk about a nobody. Giants Browns. Browns laying 6.5 after going into Jacksonville and beating them. What do you make of that line, sir?
The line's right.
The line is right. That's one of those games, though. To me, this is kind of a Dable spot, right? I'm getting points. Everybody thinks we suck. The Browns just won last week. Like, I think, gun to my head, I'm leaning Giants right now. But are you really going to trust Danny Jones going into Cleveland? Because the Browns started showing last week that their defense is still there, and they showed up on the road. That was
one of the worst quarterbacks against that defense.
Right? Yeah. So, I don't know, man. That game, to me, there's not too much talking to do because I feel like it's an ugly game. And as it is, the Browns don't play like a beautiful style of football anyway. Even when they beat the Jags last week, they won by 5-6 points. It was a low-scoring affair, nothing crazy. But I got one for you, man. We'll get on to the next one because I know you're not going to really have an opinion on that. You don't really give opinions on games. Unless it's game day, you don't really give opinions on games till you get the injury report and it's game day on shit games.
right, for sure.
You like to look into games that you kind of know more about. You've been watching the teams. I know you weren't really watching Giants games. So let's go with the Saints and Eagles. Man. New Orleans is looking fucking good early, and it could be fluff. What are you thinking, man? The line's 2.5.
It could very well be a bluff, but I've done some research, and their new offensive coordinator is, again, another one of your products.
Kubiak?
What's up?
Kubiak?
Yeah, he's under the Shanahan tree.
He is.
His dad was under the Shanahan tree, Mike Shanahan, the younger one.
Yeah. It's a Kubiak, and then he went to coach. Well, it's Kubiak's son, because then he went to coach the Texans, and then his son started learning under everything and Shanahan's and same fucking thing, man. And maybe it's making Derek Carr comfortable. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. See. But
this is also a stay away from me game.
It's a stay away from you game. To me, like that's a tough one. That line opened at Eagles being favored, and now they're just because of that Monday night bluff. Let's be real here, people. If Barkley catches that ball and goes down, and the Eagles win, what's this line looking like to you?
Probably a pick.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's a little bit of inflation because Cousins made that last minute drive, right?
Sure.
And we'll get back to that one later on the later game. But sure. This line's about accurate though. There's going to be two things: the Eagles saying, don't ever count us out just because we lose one game, even if we don't have AJ, or the Saints coming out fucking party.
Yeah, I think this game, like you said, comes down to one of them needs to win to show the world, hey. Because whoever wins this game can tell the world, hey, let's chill out a little bit. We're still here.
Yeah, we're still here.
The Saints win, hey, we're 3-0, bitches. This ain't made up.
We're for real. And Kamara looks healthy.
Yeah.
He looks healthy. I mean,
the last 2 years hasn't been the same.
He hasn't, but this year 2 games. Let's be real. We have a small sample size here.
Yeah.
But I think the line at 2.5, I think it's moved a lot. I think if it moves to 3, I think it'll be too much. Just my personal opinion.
It's going to continue moving too.
I do too. Because I think there's some places laying 115, 120. But yeah, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on that, and we'll go on to the next one. So that's going to be a coming out game for sure. Broncos Bucks lane 6.5. That's the next game on the slate, man. What do you make of that game? I think Bo Nix sucks. That's just me being pretty blunt, man. That's me being pretty blunt.
Looks like it.
But then again, I'm gonna give him a little bit of credit, all right, in terms of this, or a little bit of leeway. He went into Seattle, first game, NFL. It's a tough place to play. Then he gets a home game against the Pittsburgh Steelers and TJ Watt. Wow,
No, I feel you.
Like, he's had some tough people out there, or some tough competition out there. So I think this line is, I think it's about right, man. But this can also be a Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield pretty much making a statement. If you're going to make a statement in the NFL, it's on lines like these. It's 6.5. So if you really think that Baker Mayfield and the Bucs are for real, you have to look at that 6.5. Sure. But to me, I don't know. Let's see if that competition has anything to do with Bo Nix looking bad, or maybe Bo Nix can make some adjustments because I don't think the Bucs defense is soft, but it's not a Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and it's nothing like going into Seattle game 1.
For sure.
Against a Mike McDonald-led defense who led the Ravens last year who were phenomenal, and look at the Ravens defense this year. Per metrics are not the same.
Right. I agree.
So yeah, man, I think that line, it could be 7. What do you think that line should be?
It's about right, I would say, right?
It's about right. It could be 7, and I wouldn't blame him for putting it at 7. Let's put it like that.
Right. I agree.
So we're gonna go there, and then we have next game. This is kind of ugly game, but Panthers, Raiders laying 5.5 at some spots. That line opened at 7, man, and once they said Bryce Young wasn't playing, it dropped down. Do you think that's a little bit of a premature drop by the odds makers in the books?
Probably.
All right. I mean,
I would have still right.
Why do you think it dropped? Do you think that they just think just because Andy Dalton came in? Because usually trends show when a backup quarterback comes in, a la the Packers last week when they ended up winning that game with their backup quarterback, right? The team plays with more effort. But to me, this is a spot where the Raiders are going to have their first home game. And you have Andy Dalton against Mad Max Crosby in a Raiders defense that we don't know what we're going to get in terms of the offense. But I really think the Raiders defense is going to bring it. I think the Raiders defense is going to be good this year, man. At least top 7-ish, which is
Possibly.
good. Which is good in this league. But let me ask you a question. Do you think Andy Dalton should have moved that line from 7 to 5?
Should he have moved it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think the line maybe a little, maybe a half point. I think 5 is a premature move, but I know there probably is some sharper action that's coming in on the Panthers. And just to be clear, that sharp action comes in because of the trends with the backup quarterback. So now you're just playing it blind. You're pretty much playing it blind, saying I'm taking those points. We'll see what happens. Panthers for the upset. They've been getting their ass kicked, but I mean, dude, the Panthers have been getting blown out. We're not even talking about like, oh, they're losing the games by a field goal or so. They're getting blown out. You know what I mean?
They've been getting blown out since last year.
Yeah. So when is that trend going to change, man? That's my thing.
I agree.
I guess we'll never know. But to me, that's a game where I would love to look Panthers right now. But realistically, I think as of now, to me, I'm going to do more deep digging. The value's in the Raiders under the 6.
I can see that.
To have that team, we'll see what happens. But to have them come in to a raucous crowd over there in Las Vegas, we'll see how that one's going to go. So next game, before we get into this next game, right? I want to know, do you have any hammer this week, or do you have any game you had your eye on as of right now, or you're going to wait for injury reports?
Not as of right now.
You're waiting for the injury reports and everything?
All that good stuff.
Got you. Okay. Seahawks and Dolphins, man. That's an interesting fucking line.
For sure.
Seahawks are minus 4.5. What do you have on that one?
Seahawks minus 4.5.
Yeah. You have a backup QB because of what happened to Tua.
I think that line will look kind of high.
It is kind of high, but do you trust that quarterback can put up some points over there in Seattle?
I do.
You do? Okay. He's played, right? Didn't he play in a playoff game? I think he did. I want to say maybe like a couple weeks ago or so. Or a couple weeks ago. No, not a couple weeks ago. A couple years ago. My bad.
Yeah. I think it's normal for us to think, oh, Thompson's taken over. We saw Thompson against the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. He wasn't, terrible.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, he was in the playoffs a couple years back.
No offense, we act like Tua's fucking this amazing quarterback that's gone, and, I bet this backup probably isn't that... I'm sorry, I'm just not a big Tua guy.
I'm not either.
It's not a massive downgrade to me.
Yeah, it's not a massive downgrade where it should put Miami power ranked them way lower than they should have been. Yeah, right. maybe just in terms of experience, strictly off experience, whether it's wins or losses, you can maybe downgrade them slightly, but it's not massive at all. You're right, and they're gonna cater.
Don't forget they have a good offensive coach and they have weapons, so they can drop a game plan that makes Thompson more relaxed without putting so much pressure on him.
100% agree with that one, man.
Right? So, I mean, like, that matters, man.
So in your eyes, in this game, like you're taking the value on there, and you have a reason for it actually, right? Because you're like Thompson has played, so that's a game you're looking at because you're like, you know what? There's weapons. Thompson's played. Like it is what it is, and the Dolphins don't want to go 1-2. Mind you, there's another little nugget here. They have 10 days of prep,
which is huge
because they lost on that Thursday night game. So,
right.
Let's go to the next game. We're gonna go Lions and Cardinals, man. Lions. That line was 3, just dropped down to 2.5. In Arizona, Arizona has looked pretty freaking pretty good offensively. The Bills did beat them week 1, but they did put up some points on them. And last week they absolutely thrashed the Rams, man. But typically the Rams have their number too. But something tells me that this line being around 2.5, 3, still favoring Detroit, especially after Detroit's loss. I think that odds makers expect the bounce back out of Detroit. That's my opinion. And they're expecting a bounce back off of Detroit. But I don't know if I don't know. This is a game where if Arizona is going to be for real this year, if Kyler is really going to put it down this year, because the guy, he's a crybaby for one, in my opinion.
Sure.
And we don't know if he's going to stay healthy either, man. So you look at this line. What do you think when you see this -2.5 Detroit? Who's the better team to you? Off the line, nothing.
Who's the better team to me between the two?
Mm-hmm.
The Lions. The Lions are the better team, but you're going into Arizona that right now can score. So
they have a lot of momentum.
It's a lot of momentum, yeah.
Yeah, they can score exactly.
But also a new regime, you know?
Yep. And then you have Harrison Jr. who got drafted. So he's definitely putting it down over there too, man.
For sure.
So yeah. So that's a new obviously new regime and everything over there. So we'll see how that one's gonna go. But I don't really have a specific that's a tough one to really cap. To me,
sure.
It's a tough one to cap, man, because you know the Lions are good. The Lions are good enough to beat them by more than a field goal, but Arizona can come out and surprise people. That's why it's a tough one to cap. So yeah, I'd have to look into that one a little bit more. Ravens and Cowboys, man. This line opened at Cowboys favored 1.5. Now it's gone to Baltimore -1. This is a fucking
I think everybody should sit back, not touch this game, and hopefully enjoy a good game. So I think it's going to be a good game. And this game is gamble. You're a gamble.
Yeah, 100% you are. But in this spot, typically, statistically, you take the Cowboys, right? But you don't know what
a lot of home games. Sure.
You don't know what you have right now in Dallas. Like, yeah, they beat up the Browns, but who the fuck knows? Big deal, right? The Ravens defense isn't the same, but they're 0-2, blowing a 10-point lead to. Put it this way, the Ravens are 0-2. Let me tell you something. They're a toe away from being 1-1. Yeah. And they're a fourth quarter under 10-minute 10-point meltdown from being 2-0.
Right, agreed.
So when you really put those things into perspective, it's like when Dallas to me is 1-1. They blew out a team and they got blown out. They're 1-1. There's no ifs, ands, or buts in them. Their record is their record. So this line is razor sharp, man. It's a fucking tough one. Yeah, I agree with you.
Sure, for sure. I mean, this is the right line. There's no line that you can put it on. It's going to go back and forth. It could be Cowboys -1. It could be Ravens -1.
You're never going to get a 3 in this game. You're never getting
let me tell all my sports fans out there, and I mean this with all due respect. If you're using anybody else's picks and they tell you that the lock of the week is one of those teams, I'm sorry. They have no idea what they're talking about.
When you talk about lock of the week, yeah, because this spot is a tough spot. It's a tough spot.
This is straight like you. Come on, man. Yeah. It's a flip of a coin.
It's a tough spot, man. It's a tough.
You're not getting massive points. All you're getting is who's going to win. Good luck calling that.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's kind of like when you're betting baseball and you have -110 on both teams because you got a good pitcher and you probably have a good offense. You don't know who's going to win.
Right. It's the same as UFC. In UFC, there's a lot of picks because you just don't know who's going to win.
Yeah. It could be that one punch that comes from somebody else.
Right.
So, all right, let's just skip that game, man. To me, there's no value. That line is what it is. I kind of gave my thoughts on what the Ravens could be 1-1 or 2-0. But we're going to go with the Niners and Rams. We have the Rams have no receivers. The Niners are favored by 7. They're going to be in L.A., but there's a lot of Niner fans there. But then again, Niners don't have Debo Samuel. He's a safety blanket for Purdy, in my opinion. But
Not
they do have.
CMC either.
They don't have CMC, no Debo. Fuck, man, to put that line at 7 is saying a lot. It's kind of disrespectful, in my opinion, a little bit to the
The
Rams.
Rams just look absolute trash, and they lost to not the greatest team.
That, and they don't have. They're not gonna have Cup, and they're not gonna have Puka Nacua. So it's tough. They don't have a go-to. You're gonna have a 4th, 5th string fucking wideout out there.
We're also talking about an aggressive defense that likes to pop. They could scare a receiver, man. You
Yeah.
get one pop.
Yeah.
You're a rookie receiver, you know?
And
When
all you
go
gotta
down
do-
middle again, it's like, oh, shit. Do I want to catch this?
There's Fred Warner.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So so they're gonna stack the box, and they're gonna probably play a little man-on-man. Who knows? We'll see
I
what the
can
game
honestly
plan
see
is.
this ending at a push. I can see this winning by
Yeah, right.
7.
And like at the end, it matters because maybe the Rams are charging down, or you never know, man. I don't know. Typically in this spot, you take the Rams with the 7. If you're betting by the number, you're taking the Rams here. If you're playing by the number, right? But this is why we always say human element comes into play.
This huge elements come into play.
Huge element, like elements coming up the middle, hitting you in your 4th string, 5th string receiver. You know. So and let's be real, the play action might not work well because they're going to crowd the box on the Rams. Because this is one of those games where I'll typically look at the dog. But and then the Niners, it didn't help that they got fucking throttled last week in Minnesota. They had a bad game. Usually,
They get throttled, but they lost.
yeah, they just didn't play their standard. To me, they got outplayed bad.
Yeah.
And I think Shanahan will have something cooking up. Plus, he has a really, really good record against McVay. So
Right.
we'll see, man. If I had to lean in that one, man, initially when I saw it, I leaned Rams at the 7, but then I found out Kupp was going to be out too, and I know Debo's out for the Niners. I still lean to the 7, but that 7 is like going to come into play somehow, I think. Even if it's like the Rams are down by 8 or 7 drivings, anything, it's going to come into play. It's going to come into play. Oh, look at this one, man. Sunday night. Kansas City and Atlanta Falcons, man. Kansas City laying 3.5. Overreaction to Monday Night Football that you think the line should be higher than 3.5? I mean, it's
I
Kansas
think the line should
City.
be 3.
You think the line should be 3? You see some value in this one, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, but Vegas can know something I don't know. But I'm not putting it past 3, strictly because they're on the road. They're playing in a dome. I don't think people understand, look, I'm not an NFL player, but I hear a lot of NFL people say this, it's not easy to win in the National Football League, man.
No.
It's just new. People
No.
think, they see these lines and they're like, oh, yeah, I don't care. You play Carolina and you win that game, it's not easy. I don't care how garbage they are.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's an 11-man team. They have coaches. They have everything. You just never know. But I think the line should be at 3. I think 3.5 is a little too much. That's 2-possession game.
2-possession game, you're right. Okay. Yeah, I think it does make it 2 possessions. And
I don't know if people realize that when there's a half there and it's past 3, that's 2 possessions.
that is 2 possessions.
Two
No matter what.
possessions.
No matter what, that's 2 possessions. Because you're not going for 2 points after every fucking touchdown.
Exactly.
I actually think there's a little value in the Falcons here. Will I lay it? Will I not? That remains to be seen. But they could also have a letdown spot just from coming back and winning in Philly. Because if they lose that Philly game, then they're coming into this game, in my opinion, a little more focused. But now they come in a little more relaxed off of that high. And you don't.
They still need to win a home game.
They still need to win a home game. Yeah. And if they're gonna make any noise this year, it's gonna have to be beating teams like this at home. Any noise. So we'll see, man. That's where I agree with you on that in terms of the line is it looks a little suspect. I feel like it's a little high. I know it's Mahomes, but Kelsey hasn't looked like Kelsey. Let's be real. They were one flag that didn't get called last week away from being 1-1 themselves.
All right.
So, all right, Monday Night Football, man. 2 games, right? We got the daily double here. Jaguars and Bills. Bills laying that 6. This is a game where I'm just going to go out and say it. If the Jaguars don't even cover, I think they're fucking completely done.
Well, if they lose, they're done. Whether they cover or not, they're done.
Yeah. And to me, if you're betting the number here, I think the value is on the Jaguars straight up. And whether they get blown out or not, I think the value's there. You're going to get motivation out of them. Peterson's going to have his, whether it's shitty or good, he's going to have his best game plan for the Bills, you know? But
For sure.
the thing is, you're going to be playing against Josh Allen, and pretty much Josh Allen. That's what it comes down to.
Pretty much.
What do you think about the line? You think it's right?
I do think it's right.
I do think it's right too. I think it's going to be pretty close. So that's Monday. We'll skip to the next one real quick. Washington Commanders at Cincinnati Bengals. This is going to be the last game on the slate.
This line is definitely right.
Oh yeah. This line, in my opinion, can even be a little higher, and I wouldn't blame them. Let's be real. So
I mean, how much higher? If it goes to 8-9, it's not really a difference.
that's just what I was gonna say. It could be a little higher as long as it doesn't hit 10.
Yeah,
Because 10 is a key number. 10 is a key number.
Yeah.
So, hey man, we'll see. We'll see if the Commanders actually come out with a little bit of heart in Cincy. But Cincy needs this game like blood, and
They'll get the win.
they'll get the win. Or are they gonna get the cover?
Couldn't tell you.
It is a tough one. Yeah.
Let me tell people, if you people love to bet money lines and it doesn't matter how much it costs you, that's a money line play on the Bengals. As long as you don't care about how much it costs. There's some bettors out there.
Yeah, and also you have to worry about when you do those money line games, always put this into your mind. What if Burrow gets hurt? What if this happens? If you don't put that into your mind when you bet these money lines, you're not even considering it correct.
I agree with you, but let's be honest. If Burrow gets hurt, God forbid.
Oh, they still have the backup back there that
win.
was killing it. The dude from Browning.
Yeah, looks good. He had a couple good games last year. If you guys people watched them.
100%. Yeah, I guess you're kind of safe with the money line here. You got a good.
I honestly think you are. It's high. If you're
why,
big on.
But let me ask you a question. Why is it high? Why do they make it high?
Because it should be high. Because this is a great team versus a trash team.
They want to scare you away from it.
You got rookies all over the Commanders. I mean, come on.
Yeah. This is a veteran team that needs a win. When they should have had a win last week. They're going to come in angry. They're going to have an extra day rest.
Right.
Yeah. So no lock this week for you, huh?
No.
Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Nothing. I'm actually going to go. If Amon St. Brown plays, because they said he avoided a serious injury, I actually think the Lions go over their team total at 27.5.
You can definitely see that.
Yeah, I think that would be a decent value play right there for a team total. Lions over 27.5. If you guys want me to shoot another one at you, I would love to do the Panthers under 17.5, but I can't just because I think the Raiders defense is for real. But when there's a new quarterback, trick plays get put into place. You don't know exactly what they're going to run. So you can't really bank on shit like that. That's just my opinion.
And not only that, they don't even know how to coach against this new. They don't know what playbook. They don't know what they're going to use.
Yeah. So anybody out there looking at something like that, just always keep that in mind. But you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and go with another over on the team total. It's gonna be I'm going to say the Saints are going to put up points in that dome at home, man. That game could be a fun game to watch, but I think the Saints are going to put points up. Let me say that.
Yeah, but that's got to be a high over-under.
Yeah, it's 26.5. That over-under is 49.5.
Let's be honest, the Eagles' defense is trash.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think...
the Falcons moved the ball within 60 seconds and pretty much without... I don't even think they used their timeout.
No, man. Cousins just fucking chucked it for sure.
Okay.
So, yeah, man. Well... Those are mine. If you have anything you want to give them aside from that Monday night or Thursday night that you gave on the what'd you say, the Pats, right?
Yeah.
Pats plus 6 pizza money. Pats plus 6 pizza money. You know, it's not bad, man. Don't sleep on that D. But well, thank you again for coming on as always, man. And let's do it again next week.
As always, yeah, for sure. I look forward to it.
Same time. We'll get back into it next week. And anybody that's out there, you can find me at CJ Wins on IG. CJ Wins Sports on Telegram, and if you guys run across a website, you want to get packages or anything like that, cjwins.com. You can put the promo code pod on there to get your first purchase. You'll get a discount on there. So, yeah, man. If you guys are going to be rolling on some of these games this weekend, I wish you guys luck, and most importantly, have a profitable weekend. Because we're looking to have a bounce back for sure. Or at least I am. You don't really need one. You hit the Bills.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on, man. We'll catch you guys next week.